Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2016 Virtual Leadership Conference. I'm Michael Yudin. I am the Assistant Secretary here for the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services at the U.S. Department of Education. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but we are trying out this technology, using this technology, and I am confident that we will be able to share best practices, share information, resources, and really move forward for 2016. This is going to be an exciting year. You know, we're continuing to do incredible work with our states and our school districts and our partners to improve results for children with disabilities. 2015, we said goodbye to Secretary Arne Duncan. The Secretary has been with the Department for 7 years. I do not believe there is a greater, more fierce advocate for children than Arne Duncan. He has been an incredible leader, and I have learned enormously from him. He has pushed us and challenged us always to do more and to do better because our kids deserve it. But I am also really excited to begin working with John King as the new secretary. John has been with the department for a year now as our deputy secretary. John places a premium on education. He often talks about the role that educators and schools played in his life as a young child, providing him with the stability and the opportunity and the expectations that he can succeed. And he has taken this and really, informed his life and his career. He is dedicated, committed to improving educational opportunities, equity for kids that are most disadvantaged, including students with disabilities, English language learners. He is a practitioner and fully understands what it means to provide instruction in the classroom, and particularly for kids that are struggling. And again, the importance of high expectations. So we're very excited to have John take us out through this final year in 2016. We also actually said goodbye to our good friend Melody Musgrove, the director of OSEP. Melody has been such a great partner for me and a leader for OSEP. She is constantly reminding us what is in the best interest of kids, how is this impacting kids, how is this impacting teaching and learning, and her laser-like focus on improving results has really changed the fields, changed the work that we do here at the Department of Education. So we will absolutely miss her. But I'm also quite confident that Ruth Ryder has been announced as the acting director of OSEP. Ruth, as everyone knows, is a strong leader, an effective leader, knows this law, knows the field, and will really guide us forward in 2016 to further improve results for kids with disabilities. So I'm very excited to have Ruth's leadership here at the department. You know, a few months ago, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of IDEA. And I think we have a lot to be proud of there. We've made a lot of accomplishments over these past 40 years. But I don't think anybody would argue that the promise has been fulfilled. I don't think we've quite reached that mark. I don't think we can declare mission accomplished. We have a lot of work to do. And I want us to really reaffirm our commitment to the goals and ideals of IDEA. What we do know from the last 40 years is that kids with disabilities do better when they are held to high expectations. We know from research that teachers' expectations actually have an impact on student learning. And we know that learners with disabilities that are struggling in reading and math can absolutely succeed and achieve at grade level work if they're provided the right kinds of instruction and supports and accommodations and services. So we've learned a lot. We need to make sure that we're teaching all of our kids with disabilities to high expectations, to high standards, because we know that the vast majority can absolutely succeed. 4 out of 5 kids with disabilities in high school say their primary goal is to go to college. As classrooms become more inclusive, as technology advances, as the pool of evidence-based strategies and interventions continues to improve, the opportunities have never been greater. It's critical, it's absolutely critical for students with disabilities to get the special education and the related services, the specially designed instruction, the supports, the services, the modifications, the accommodations that are critical, that are absolutely necessary to enable the child to be involved in and succeed in the general curriculum and meet the state's academic content standards. You know, a few weeks ago we released some guidance, a Dear Colleague letter, that clarified the term general educational curriculum and said that IEPs must be aligned to the general curriculum based on the state's academic content standards for the grade in which the child is enrolled. So again, we provided this guidance that said, okay, you're developing these IEPs, they must be aligned to the state standards. How are you providing these instructions and supports and services in a way that will enable the child to be involved in and make progress in the general curriculum? We know that the primary vehicle for providing FAPE, free appropriate public education, is the individualized nature of the IEP. And the IEPs must be, in accordance with the law, must be designed to enable the child to be involved in and make progress in the general curriculum. What this guidance says is that general curriculum is the same curriculum that is available to non-disabled kids, that's based on the state's academic content standards for the grade in which the child is enrolled. We think that this guidance will actually help ensure that regardless of the nature or severity of the disability, that a child's IEP is designed to enable the child to be involved in and have access to the general curriculum. We also believe that this guidance harmonizes IDEA and ESEA. As you know, Congress reauthorized, the President signed into law the new Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and it's now called ESSA. And both the previous versions and this new authorization continue to hold all students to the same high standards. Kids with disabilities are required to be held to the same standards as other kids. And it really then, this guidance harmonizes these two laws and really provides the opportunity to ensure that kids with disabilities receive the high quality instruction and the supports and services that they need to be successful. Let me be clear, this guidance does not replace the individualized nature, the individualized decision-making of the IEP. It does not mean that an IEP team can just say, all right, here's the state standard, and we can just place it into the IEP as the goals. That's not what this does. Rather, it emphasizes the importance of the individualized nature of the IEP. What is the specially designed instruction going to look like? What are the supports and services and the accommodations and the modifications? What is that going to look like? To what end? To ensure that the kid has the opportunity to make progress in the general curriculum and meet the same standards as their peers. We know that for a number of kids with disabilities, they are performing below grade level. This guidance clarifies that goals, again, need to be aligned to the state academic content standards for the grade in which the child's enrolled, but they must be ambitious but achievable to help the child close that achievement gap. So again, all children with disabilities need to be held to high standards. They need the necessary supports, the intensive instruction and interventions so that they can master the same knowledge and skills as their grade level peers. To make FAPE available, the special ed, the related services, the supplementary aids and services, the modifications in the IEP, again, must be designed to enable the child to be involved in and make progress in the general curriculum based on the state's academic content standards for the grade in which the child is enrolled. The IEP was designed to be and has always been the heart of special education. That's the vehicle. That's the way we're going to make sure that kids get the supports, get the instruction that they need. But to what end? So that they can meet the standards. The opportunities for kids 4 to 5 want to go to college, the opportunities have never been greater. But we need to make sure that our educators have the tools and the resources that they need to deliver that high quality instruction so kids with disabilities can meet those high standards. We need to maximize instructional time, implement best practices, evidence-based practices, implement what we know works, and provide those additional supports and services that are necessary for success. We must support our teachers and engage our families, and I'm really pleased. If you go, I mentioned the 40th anniversary a couple of minutes ago. If you go to our website at the Department of Education at OSEP and look for our 40th anniversary, we've posted not only this guidance, but we have a really cool new resource, a web-based resource that will provide educators and families with the evidence-based strategies and practices that we know are critical for kids with disabilities to successful. It's called Ideas That Work, Preparing Children and Youth with Disabilities for Success. Again, it's designed to connect teachers and families with the evidence-based practices and strategies that we know are critical for ensuring success. We also, if you go to the website, you also will find we put together this fantastic toolkit that provides alternatives to suspension. So how do teachers respond to prevent discipline problems in the classroom? A real practical guide to alternatives to suspension. So I hope you go and check that out as well. So just before I wrap up, I just want to say thank you for joining us, for everything that you do to improve results for infants and toddlers and children with disabilities and their families. Thank you for your support as we look forward to this 2016 year, how we're going to improve inclusion, equity, and opportunity. I look forward to working with you. Thank you.